Daniel Walsh sat in his downtown Boston law office, reviewing contracts for a major corporate merger, when his phone buzzed with a message that would turn his world upside down. At 55, he'd built one of the most successful family law practices in Massachusetts, specializing in high-stakes divorce cases. His methodical approach and attention to detail had earned him a reputation for protecting his clients' assets from manipulative spouses. He never imagined he'd need those same skills to protect himself from his own family. The text message from his 28-year-old son Ryan was brief and demanding. "Dad, attached is our wedding invoice. Total is $85,000. You're paying for it because you're my father. This is your responsibility." Daniel stared at the screen, coffee growing cold in his hand. The invoice was professionally formatted, listing everything from the venue rental to imported flowers, premium catering, and a live orchestra. What struck him wasn't just the astronomical cost, it was the casual assumption that he would pay, without question, for a wedding he wasn't even invited to attend. 3 weeks earlier, Ryan had called with what he described as difficult news. "Dad, we've decided to keep the wedding small and intimate, just immediate family only. You know how you can be at social events always working the room, telling legal stories. Monica thinks it would be better if this day focused on our new family unit." Monica, Daniel's ex-wife of 15 years, the woman who'd systematically tried to poison Ryan against him since their divorce when Ryan was 13. The same woman who'd remarried Steven Rodriguez, a successful restaurant owner, and had spent the last decade playing the role of concerned mother while undermining Daniel's relationship with his son. "I understand," Daniel had said, though his chest tightened to "I want you to be happy." Now, staring at the invoice, Daniel noticed something that made his legal instincts kick into high gear. The venue was listed as Rodriguez Event Center, Steven's upscale banquet hall. This wasn't just about excluding him from the wedding. This was about using him to fund it, while ensuring the profits went directly to Monica's new family. Daniel picked up his phone and called the venue directly. "Rodriguez Events, this is Steven speaking." "Steven, this is Daniel Walsh, Ryan's father. I'm calling about the wedding invoice." A pause. "Oh, Daniel, yes, Monica mentioned you might call. Beautiful event we're planning. Ryan's a lucky young man. I'm sure he is." "Steven, I was wondering about the pricing structure. $85,000 seems quite high for a small, intimate gathering." Steven's voice became carefully professional. "Well, it's a premium package. Monica insisted on the best for Ryan. You know how she is about family celebrations." Yes, Daniel knew exactly how Monica was about celebrations, especially when someone else was paying for them. That evening, Daniel sat in his home study with a growing sense of unease. Something about the entire situation felt orchestrated, manipulative in ways that reminded him of Monica's behavior during their marriage. He decided to do what he did best: investigate. Daniel's first call was to his former business partner, Marcus Chen, who now ran a private investigation firm specializing in financial fraud. They'd worked together on dozens of cases involving hidden assets and fraudulent transfers. "Marcus, I need you to look into something personal. My son's wedding, but more specifically, my ex-wife's recent financial activities." "Monica's up to something again?" "I think so. Can you run a background check on her current financial status? Bank accounts, credit reports, any recent large transactions?" Within 48 hours, Marcus had uncovered a financial disaster that explained everything. Monica Rodriguez owed $247,000 to 3 different casinos in Atlantic City and Las Vegas. Her gambling addiction, which had been a factor in their divorce, had spiraled, completely out of control. She'd maxed out every credit card, taken cash advances, and was facing potential bankruptcy. But the most shocking discovery was yet to come. "Daniel, there's something else," Marcus said during their meeting at a quiet restaurant downtown. "I found records of an education fund you set up for Ryan in 2014. Initial deposit of $500,000. Designed to compound over 10 years for his future." Daniel nodded. "Yes, I set that up right after the divorce. Ryan was supposed to have access when he turned 25, or for major life events like marriage or buying a house." Marcus slid a folder across the table. "The account was completely drained 18 months ago, every penny." The blood drained from Daniel's face. "That's impossible. The account required both Ryan's signature and mine for any withdrawals." "Take a look at the withdrawal authorization." Daniel opened the folder to find copies of withdrawal slips bearing both his signature and Ryan's. Except Daniel had never signed anything, and the handwriting analysis Marcus had commissioned showed clear evidence of forgery. Monica forged both signatures. Gets worse. The money was withdrawn in cash installments over 6 months. Each withdrawal coincided with major gambling events: the World Series of Poker, March Madness, the Kentucky Derby. She used Ryan's education fund as her personal casino bankroll. Daniel stared at the documents, pieces of a larger puzzle clicking into place. The expensive wedding wasn't about celebration, it was about desperation. Monica needed the $85,000 to pay down gambling debts, and she was using Ryan as the unwitting accomplice to extract it from Daniel. Does Ryan know about any of this? Marcus shook his head. Based on the financial records, Ryan's been kept completely in the dark. His credit report shows he's financially responsible, no major debts, steady income. As a marketing coordinator, Monica's been very careful to hide her gambling from everyone, including Steven. Steven doesn't know either. Their joint accounts show normal activity. She's been using separate accounts for the gambling accounts Steven doesn't have access to. He has no idea his wife is $250,000 in debt. Daniel leaned back in his chair, processing the magnitude of Monica's deception. She'd stolen $500,000 from their son's future, was planning to steal another $85,000 for a wedding that would profit her new husband's business, and was using Ryan's relationship with his father as the weapon to accomplish it all. Marcus, I need you to document everything. Bank records, forged signatures, gambling losses, the whole timeline. And I need you to find out exactly when Monica plans to pay off these gambling debts. What are you thinking? Daniel's expression hardened, thinking it's time. Monica learned what happens when you try to run a con on someone who spent 20 years protecting people from exactly this kind of manipulation. The confrontation came sooner than Daniel expected. 3 days before the wedding, Steven Rodriguez called his office directly. Daniel, we need to talk. It's about Monica, and it's urgent. They met at Steven's restaurant after closing time. Steven looked haggard, older than his 52-year, toting a folder that Daniel recognized as similar to the one Marcus had compiled. Steven, what's going on? Monica's been lying to both of us. Steven's voice was tight with controlled anger. I hired an accountant to review our finances before the wedding, thinking we might need a loan for expansion. Instead, I found out my wife has destroyed our credit rating and stolen money from your son's education fund. Steven slid the folder across the table. She forged signatures, used Ryan as a cover story, and gambled away $500,000. The wedding invoice. She's not trying to give Ryan a beautiful celebration. She's trying to use the venue fee to pay off loan sharks who've been calling our house. Daniel examined Steven's documentation, which matched Marcus's findings almost exactly. How long have you known? 2 days. I confronted her this morning. She broke down, admitted everything. Begged me not to tell Ryan before the wedding. Said she had a plan to fix it all if we could just get through this week. What kind of plan? Steven's jaw tightened. She wants to take the $85,000 from you, combine it with money she's planning to steal from my business accounts, and disappear to Costa Rica. She's been researching flights and offshore banking. The pieces fell into their final positions. Monica wasn't just gambling with their money. She was planning to commit fraud and flee the country, leaving both Daniel and Steven to deal with her debts while Ryan began his marriage based entirely on lies. Steven, what do you want to do? I want to protect Ryan. He's a good kid who has no idea his mother is a criminal. But I also can't let her destroy my business or steal any more money from you. Daniel pulled out his phone. There's something I need to show Ryan before the wedding. Will you help me? The next morning, Daniel, Steven, and Marcus sat across from Ryan in a private conference room at Daniel's law office. Ryan looked confused and increasingly worried as they presented the evidence folder by folder. Ryan, Daniel said gently, your mother has stolen $500,000 from the education fund I set up for you. She forged both of our signatures and used the money for gambling. Ryan's face went white. That's impossible. Mom doesn't gamble. She's always talking about how irresponsible gambling is. Steven spoke up. Son, I've been married to your mother for 8 years, and I just discovered she's been lying to me the entire time. She owes nearly $250,000 to casinos, and she was planning to steal from my business and flee the country after your wedding. This is insane. Ryan stood up, pacing the room. The wedding is tomorrow. You're telling me my entire life is built on lies. Marcus handed Ryan the bank records showing the systematic theft from his education fund. Ryan, this money was meant to be your future. Your mother stole it and gambled it away. The wedding bill she sent your father isn't about giving you a celebration, it's about covering her gambling debts. Ryan stared at the documents, his hands shaking. She said Dad was selfish for not being more involved. She said he didn't care about my future. That's why he wasn't invited to the wedding. Ryan, Daniel said softly, I've never stopped caring about your future. I just didn't realize your mother was stealing it. The wedding was postponed while Ryan processed the truth about Monica's betrayal. Steven filed for divorce and cooperated with federal authorities investigating the forged signatures and interstate gambling debts. Monica was arrested attempting to board a flight to San Jose with $127,000 in cash withdrawn from Steven's business accounts. 6 months later, Daniel and Ryan sat in the same conference room, but this time reviewing plans for Ryan's actual wedding, a smaller, genuine celebration that Ryan and his fiancée were paying for themselves. Dad, Ryan said, I owe you an apology, and about $500,000. Daniel smiled. You don't owe me an apology, son. You were manipulated by someone you trusted. As for the money, we'll work something out. What matters is that you know the truth now. Ryan nodded. Monica's sentencing is next week. Part of me still can't believe my mother was capable of all this. People do desperate things when they're addicted, Daniel replied, but that doesn't excuse the choices she made or the people she hurt. A year later, Monica Rodriguez was serving a federal sentence for wire fraud, forgery, and interstate gambling violations. Stephen had rebuilt his business and remained friends with Daniel, bonded by their shared experience of Monica's deception. Ryan had learned to manage the family business Daniel was building and was slowly repaying the stolen education fund. Most importantly, Daniel had his son back, not through manipulation or financial leverage, but through honesty and patience. Have you ever discovered that someone you trusted was manipulating your family relationships for their own gain? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Hidden Hearth for more stories about family manipulation, financial fraud, and the power of truth.